Okay. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to Wolf's Voices 28, our first online edition. I'm very excited to be here with you tonight. Does everyone want to howl? You want to howl together? Everyone can howl together, all the participants. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! Yeah, so that should be everyone. This is the 28th version of Wolf's Voices, and the first time we've tried to do it online. So my name is Adrienne Adams, and I'm the founder of Wolf's Voices, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do everything here. Come on. There we go. So today we have Anne Sorbie, Josie, Charlene, Veness, Mary of the Tower, Natalie Meisner, Yujin Tsomondo, Tereasa Maillie, and Premanition visual art by Yujin Aspen Kim. And we're just going to get going. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge that in the spirit of respect, reciprocity, and truth, we honor and acknowledge Mokinstis and the traditional territory of Treaty 7 and the oral practices of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, as well as the Stoney Nakoda and Tsuut'ina nations. We acknowledge that this territory is home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3, which historically is the Northwest Métis homeland. Finally, we acknowledge all nations, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, who work and play on this land and who honor this territory. We are all treaty people. I'm very grateful to be here. And thank you for that. I'm also very grateful to Shelf Life, who has been who's been hosting Wolf's Voices, 27 of them. One was at Motion Gallery downtown, number 3, I think, but all the rest have been here, including this one. I'm here right now at Shelf Life. So I, in turn, encourage you to support Shelf Life and buy a book. We have 2 books here by our featured artist, Falling Backward into Mirrors by Anne Sorbie, and Batty One Shoe by Natalie Meisner, which you can buy online through Shelf Life. They do contactless delivery, which I have taken advantage of. So support your local bookstores. All the local bookstores in town are awesome. Special shout out to Shelf Life tonight for hosting. And yeah, you probably don't need that book in like 2 or 3 days, because as the meme goes, you're probably not going to read it for 6 months anyways. And there's lots of time still before Christmas, so do your Christmas book orders and get them here at Shelf Life. So before we begin, I'm very excited. We have been, the past 2 years, we've been doing Wolf's Voices as a collective. This is the first one that I've curated in a year. I was supposed to curate the one in May, so this is kind of May. And then we took a little snooze break during COVID, which apparently the first COVID case in China can be traced back to November 17th. So happy birthday, COVID. If that's something to celebrate, not really, but so yeah, in alphabetical order, we have Adetola Adedipe, who will be our curator for June 2021. And Adetola Adedipe is also known as a lot of poetry. She has Nigerian roots. She's raised in South Africa, is a featured artist at events all over YYC, from open mics to poetry festivals, and the November 2019 Calgary Slam champion. Published in the YYC Pop Anthology by Poet Laureate Emeritus Sherdy Wilson and the August 2020 issue of Pan magazine. She's an artist mentor for Black Kid Joy, a program in Calgary that supports Black youth artists in Alberta. Her first spoken word video for her poem, Women, was made as a comment on the treatment of women in society, and it's very awesome. You should watch it if you haven't already. By sharing her anxiety, pain, laughter, and love, she aims to build a community that encourages loving yourself and being unapologetic about it. So do you want to say hello? Tola?
Hello. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to know Adrian. I always used to see Adrian at events before I actually spoke to her. Like she low-key made me nervous because her poetry was so good. And yeah, so I'm just glad that she asked me to be a part of this. Hi. And then just to see faces of my beautiful friends and people that I saw before at Wolf's Voices. I know that Primo was there before. Her music is awesome. I love Sushane. I literally love everyone here. So yeah, so I'm just happy to be here. And I'm excited to hear everyone's art and see the art. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. And next is me. I don't know if I necessarily want to read my bio, but I will show it.
I'll read it for you.
Sure, you want to read it, Tola?
I will read your bio.
Okay, thanks.
So Adrian Adams. So Adrian Adams is a poet, artist, and curator dedicated to creating safer intersectional spaces, which she does, to honor the feminine. She is published in Anlag, Freefall, Politics, Letters Live, Polyglot, Wax Poetry and Art, Rose Quartz, NOD. I forgot how to pronounce that. Is it no? Node. It's Node. It's Node. New Forum, The Lost Petal, Mothering Anthology by Yana Publications, and also YYC Pop Portraits of People and Others. This fall, she has her artwork in a box show currently on display in Lock 112. I saw it, very cool. She creates Wolf's Voices, aka Virginia. That's an excuse to howl at the public. Yes, it is. She has performed her work extensively, featuring at, amongst others, and it's gone now. Your slide is gone. I can't see the slide anymore. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
That's okay. She has performed her work extensively, featuring, amongst others, at the South Country Fair, the New Beat Storytellers, Expressions, Flywheel, the People's Poetry Festival, and Ignite Festivals, and co-curated for Signal Onion, the Calgary International Spoken Word Festival, and Storytellers with Indie YYC. Her artwork has been shown around Alberta and is in the permanent collection at the Alberta Children's Hospital. I didn't know that. That's so cool. Ms. Adams has worked as an artist in residence and art teacher in the community for over 20 years. Adrian!
Thank you, Tola. Yeah, it's a painting of a swan with the reflection makes a heart of birds on the second floor of the Children's Hospital. Anyways, okay, come on. Next, we have Amy LeBlanc. Amy is an MA student in English Literature and Creative Writing at the University of Calgary and managing editor at Filling Station magazine. Amy's debut poetry collection, I Know Something You Don't Know, which is absolutely fantastic. It's for sale for Shelf Life. Online, you should buy it. Was published with Gordon Hill Press in March 2020. Her novella, Unlocking, will be published by the U of C Calgary Press in their Brave and Brilliant series in 2021. And I was one of her advanced readers, so I also highly recommend Unlocking. It's really, really great, and I'm very excited for that. Her work has appeared in Room, Prism International, and the Literary Review of Canada, among others. She is a recipient of the 2020 Lieutenant Governor of Alberta Emerging Artist Award. She's also an amazing woman and amazing volunteer. She's also our web mistress this year, and she's also returning in her second year and will be the curator of the February... I'm just going to go backwards here. The February 2020 Wolf's Voices edition. And yeah, which is the 50/50 edition. And I'm very happy and excited to welcome Amy. You want to say something really quick? Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much, Adrian, for the lovely introduction. Adrian's been an amazing friend of mine. She's an incredibly talented artist. So I'm really excited just to be part of this community and to get to watch all of you read tonight. I'm excited to get to share your words and your images and your songs. It's going to be a great evening. So thanks so much, Adrian.
Cool. Thank you. And next we have Tereasa Maillie, who's also performing tonight. But Tereasa will be the curator for our April show. And Tereasa Maillie is a writer, historian, and consultant based in Alberta. She has a very unsecret life as a poet, creative nonfiction writer, and playwright. And she just recently had her play out in October, and I think she can tell us a little bit more about that. Her current focus is on the history of the LGBTQ plus community in Canada as a form of advocacy and social justice. Tereasa was runner-up for the Alberta Playwrights Competition 2020 with her new play, How to Be a Métis. And that's actually the play that I was talking about, and that happened in October. So congratulations, Tereasa. And do you want to say hi really quickly?
Yeah, really quickly, thank you so much for inviting me for tonight. I'm extremely excited that I'll be able to hear some amazing voices from these incredible group of beautiful beings. So, thank you again.
Cool, and I'm very excited for your work tonight. So, without further ado, does everyone want to howl? Howl for the team, howl for tonight? There we go. And to make a donation to support Woolfs Voices and the artists this evening, we have a PayPal link, which is also at the bottom of the YouTube thing you can click on. All donations will go to support Woolfs Voices and the artists tonight. We've always sort of split all the revenue amongst the artists. So I hope we get some donations tonight and we can support our artists online too. Yeah. And then our first artist is Yujin Aspen Kim, who's our featured visual artist, and she is showing some photography. You can see a beautiful photo of Yujin there, which was taken by Cameron Zacharias. Yujin is a soul-born, aspiring alt model and aspiring photographer based in Calgary. And so on her Instagram, you see a lot of her modeling art and then a lot of her photography art, which is beautiful. She loved her parents' wedding photos in a film taken by a taxi driver in Jeju Island during the honeymoon so much. Those photos reminded her of the carefree, humorous, and spontaneous souls her parents still carry to this day. She wants to recreate those nostalgic and fun moments in life with her loved ones with a touch of sarcasm and social awareness. The success in her definition would be when she could model for Gap and Paloma Wool or film music videos for Korean artists including Woo and Shin Hae Gang. I should have asked beforehand. Thank you. You can look her up at Mucho Muscovite photo on Instagram, and I highly recommend doing so. So I'm going to stop share for 1 sec, Yujin, and you can say hi here.
Hi. Oh, yeah, it's not on mute. So, hi, this is Yujin. I live in Calgary since 2015. Before that, I was raised in Seoul until 2012, and I moved to Abu Dhabi with my parents there. Yeah. It's really, I'm really grateful to share some like living experience through the photos and and share some documentation of concerts happening in Calgary, because especially as a really enthusiastic K-pop supporter throughout my entire life, adjusting the whole thing back to small concert venues, it was kind of interesting to me, because I was used to get intimidated by oh, by the way, how long can I go on?
Okay, so I'm going to share the screen of your art now, and you can talk the entire time the screen is sharing. Alright, so we have 11 pieces of art by you here.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, this was one of my favorites. I loved it.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm super excited. Yeah. So it's Mita. She's a really talented Calgary-based R&B singer. I don't know when I met her. I think I met her through like my old Instagram page, Holy Smoke Rosary, for like concerts and stuff. And we kind of like keep in touch and stuff. And then one day she sent me a message, hey, like, do you want to do a shoot with me? So I was like, oh, do we have a shoot schedule? You know. Oh yeah, so it was just really kind of spontaneous shoot, like scheduled in like a day or two, and then we just go to the Kensington, what was it? Oh, Prince Island Park, which is like just in between our two houses. Yeah, and then we just shot there. Like I just asked her, like, okay, keep it simple, like, you know. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turns out. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I'm really happy. And this is my friend Juan. Yeah, he's wearing my thrifted sweater. I recently sold it to someone else. Oh yeah, it's really great to like take photos of my dear friends. I met 20 through like music club, like guitar club, GIG, gay club at UFC. He's a really talented singer, and also he has been really supportive through my like mental health journey and my artistic journey. So I'm really grateful for him. I'm really grateful to have him in my life. Yeah.
I love these photos that you included of the masculine as the feminine. I really love
Yeah,
it.
sometimes I don't really intend to do it, where I just happen to meet friends like who's more comfortable with their like, comfortable in their own skin. Like they don't like they're just really comfortable and confident in their own skin, so they don't mind being more soft or just being themselves, right? So yeah, and I usually when I that's the one thing I really like about working with my friends, close friends, and my loved ones, because they just feel comfortable in my lens anyways. Uh, yeah, and this is the model Chelsea. Yeah, she's a hairstylist, and then she's been killing it in modeling, so I'm really happy. Yeah, so we shot this photo in front of 13 on 13 app. There's a little like parking in the back. There's a construction going on, so we just go away from the barricade and just like a shot there because it's really cool. I like how it's framed and I like how it turns out. And this is Amy Half.
Yeah, I love how you have these then strong women shots too, which is cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's Amy Half from, I think it was Night Owl. If anyone have been to that venue in downtown Night Owl, it was such a good place. I really enjoyed all the shows there. Good place. Yeah, so I think it was one of like song contests or something. So I'm really, yeah, I like how it turns out. It's really like, yeah, I try through my photos, I try to capture the energy from it. And then like people's personality and like the drama like happening like at that present moment. And then yeah. Yeah, and then this is my friend Jolene. It was her first single release for her project called Til Amor. So,
At Koi, right?
Yeah, at Koi, yeah.
And then these are epic with all the...
Yeah, shout out to Koi! And this is Carol Williams at Broken City. It was during the Rocky $4, which is another event, weekly event happening at Broken City. I miss so much because now we don't doing that event anymore at this time because COVID. Yeah, and then I shot this. It is a Norika project. So the guy on the left side is Norika Yue, and then the rest of the band's playing in the back. Yeah, it's shot at the Big Winter Classic. Happened this year, 2020, January and February. It was like there's a concert happening. Can you imagine? It feels like a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for sharing. If we have a chance, we might flip through those again at some point in the evening.
Sure, yeah.
But let's everyone give a howl out for Yujin Aspen Kim. Oh!
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to unpin you. And then next we have Anne. You ready, Anne?
I'm ready.
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce you here. Oh, wait. This also was Yujin's photo. And also one of my favorites. So.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, it's my friend Morgan. Yeah, I kind of lost in touch with her, but like it was one of my favorite photos like done outside, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't really recall. Yeah, we shot in front of the Grand Junction. which is another theater in downtown. Like when we're just like hanging out in downtown, there's like the rays of the sun like just like hitting like just behind her sun, behind her hair, like the like hair light or studio. So like, oh my god, this is so cool. So just like shoot it just there. Yeah, we kind of annoyed a couple of like people like passing by, but you know what? I'm really glad how it turns out. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I thought it was a nice little kaleidoscopy end.
Oh yeah, like it's not even intentional. It's just like it was just a little lens flare. Just yeah. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So next up we have Anne Sorbie. Anne Sorbie is a Calgary writer and editor, and her latest book is called is a collection of poetry called Falling Backwards into Mirrors. You can check out her website at annesorbie.com. She's also co-editor of a mothering anthology, which is going to be published by Inanna Press in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And there's currently a call out for something online, I believe. Is that correct? And here, you probably can't see me, actually. You can see me, Anne, but the public. So here's her book, Falling Backwards into Mirrors, available at Shelf Life. And I don't know if you're going to be reading from that tonight, Anne, but welcome.
Hey, thanks so much, Adrian. And thanks for having me back to Woolfs Voices. I'm actually going to read a couple of more recent poems. I could say that they're both pandemic poems. So, yeah. The first one is actually called Hope. And it's soon to be translated into Farsi and broadcast on an Ottawa-based Persian radio station called Namashum. This is Hope. I see hope in the maple, thriving in our gardens, in the glorious red standing proud in the midst of so much snow. There's courage in the cotyledon, germinating potential near the base of the trunk, poking through the snow. I smell faith in the impeccably tuned wind chimes, their perfect pitch ribboning branches, the way poems award pages. I hear optimism in the leaves, dancing above us in the breeze, some holding themselves open like our palms, ready to receive. Let's touch the everyday heroics of bark, still smooth as we trace the growing map of fissures, irregular along the surface, interrupted only where knots appear, heart-shaped and anticipatory, like our wishes for a Christmas dinner with the whole family, with our friends, for concerts in the dark, full theaters filled with expectation. Let's believe in people, in the full spectrum of us, in compassionate congregation, everyone united in the journey forward, standing apart yet together, and safe at last. The second piece is called What If? And it is another pandemic poem, sort of based on this idea that, we're all going to be back in some form of lockdown pretty soon. And what if in lockdown you have to spend time with somebody that, you're already around a lot, or that you've been with, in my case, for quite a long time. This is called What If? What if it was just you and me, the way we feared it might always be? The two of us enclosed behind glass before the crass skeleton of what we were in times past. In the times before, when we hungered, You for me and me for you, your skin dancing to the beat of my light every second Friday night. Clothes and masks cast off like us, childless for a precious 48 hours when you, when there were red petals spread with welcoming joy across the bed. That waning light still winked its way into your heart, into mine. The two of us enclosed in windows reflecting the glass of the world before the base bones of what we are now. In the times to come, and in the times to come after that, me for you, and you for me, my skin dancing to the beat of your light, not just on Fridays, but every night. Clothes and masks cast off, blinds drawn just enough that our childless lives might enjoy endless hours when without red petals spread across the bed, we welcomed each other with an unchecked joy. What if, in these strange times, we showed each other that light that still winks its way from one heart to another? Bone of my bone, since I met you, I've loved no other, no other, no other. So come to me now in this time of lonely smother and make love to me as you did when we first met and were for naught but each other. Our aging frames, an insistence now, an example of two human beings doing whatever it takes to sustain each other. Thanks, Adrian.
Oh. Hi. Okay. I was just told that my mute wasn't working for some reason, so I apologize if that was weird. But do you want to just reread the last stanza just in case?
Oh. Okay. Our aging frames an insistence now. Examples of two human beings doing whatever it takes to sustain each other.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Let's give a howl out for Anne. Ow! 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 Everyone can howl who's on the Zoom if they want. Ow! Beautiful.
Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Anne. I really enjoy reading your poetry and hearing you read, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Adrian.
So next we have Josie, Charlene, Veness.
I love you, Josie.
Yes. Come on.
I love you, bitch, so much.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So Josie Charlene Veness is an Aquarian witch that writes through love, hardships, and believes poetry is the best form of therapy. And you can follow her at by Blue Monday, I believe, on Instagram. She's saying yes. And Josie is also an unstoppable force on stage. Absolutely amazing, and I'm really happy to have her here tonight. So, and here's Joe. Yeah.
Are we good? Are we?
Yes, go ahead.
Are we rolling? Am I pinned? I feel like I'm not pinned.
You are pinned, at least on my screen.
Okay. What is this like?
Okay, I'll double check. June, is Josie on screen? Okay.
Anyways, I
You're
just want
on
to give
screen.
a shout out. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Adrian. Because no one can howl as good as her. Am I right? So I have 3 pieces for you guys tonight. I'm going to start with some new shit. Now, this is just so weird to do when I'm not on stage, but I'm going to ask everyone to. Tola instantly unmuted her mic. I'm loving the support. Okay. So normally when I'm on stage, whatever, we're going to call this home my stage. When I say new shit, you all just scream new shit. So I would ask all of you to unmute your mics. And yeah. So when I say new shit, y'all say
new shit!
Woo! Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, so this first one that I'm gonna read is called Free. And it goes out to yeah, someone real important to me. Oh my god, sorry guys. Where did it go? Welcome to the display. Sometimes I wonder who we would be in a different lifetime together because of certain aspects of who we are in this lifetime together. It is because of that I will always be the most thankful for you and for you showing me a glimpse of something better. You always were the only one to show me just a glimpse of something I deserved, but only in those few moments we spent together where time stopped and who we were and who we had been were erased. You always made me feel like a different version of myself when we came together. It was a version of myself that was familiar but so far away for the both of us. We were both too busy making the wrong decisions in every other moment in between those moments because time was never meant to stand still, and either were the bodies that were born of our minds. I was always falling for the wrong one. And you just fell. You fell for anything that resembled freedom, and I guess in a way I did too, because I was falling for a certain type of freedom. I just wanted to be free from circumstance. I just wanted to be free from patterns. I just wanted to be free from the cycle that I knew all too well from watching the only thing I was taught to resemble a relationship form and fall apart over and over. And we have both always been products of our environments, right? But when did I become a product of heartbreak? When did you become a product of the system? And when did we end up here? And baby, where will we go? Ooh, thank you. That's the first one. I'm gonna move right on over to this one that is like shout outs to a Capricorn just for the material, I guess. It's called Pieces. Hold on, I'm gonna take a little sip here. Just okay. You only took the pieces you wanted out of the whole puzzle. The way you always talked in puzzles too, of pieces that I couldn't quite make fit. And each piece you took out of me left me with an empty space, because once you take the pieces away, they don't fit properly together ever again, and maybe they won't even have the chance to. When you are still trying to hold on to the pieces the way I once clung to every piece of yours, because I couldn't manage to take one out myself, and you couldn't manage to open up enough to even give me one, and it's because of that I no longer want to hold on. I no longer want to be the only one to show the real, since you see the real as weakness and I see the real as power, because there is power in honesty. But you just keep lying and denying your feelings to yourself. I know this because I can read you like a book straight from the pages that I've been writing in my head since the first day we met. The way I knew that you were something I wanted to remember. And I was down for you for so long that I finally reached the peak that you couldn't quite make it up to. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. But I have waited long enough now. I gave you long enough now, but this was never enough now. The way your softness made everything hard. So I'm okay to forget now. The way I spoke this into existence, not realizing that eventually what I write, I see what I see. I manifested something that became what we were becoming. Something so intense that it scared you, so I pulled away from your fear because I can no longer live in fear of love. But when I left, you pulled closer, and you choose to speak in denial, yet move in your truth. Your actions are matching up with your words, noticing me once I was gone, wanting only what you couldn't have when you couldn't have it. And it was too little, too late. And you knew I was putting my energy into something the way I always wanted something more, just ended up being something more with someone else. And the difference was that you took pieces out of me. And I met someone else now who holds me in a way that I can feel the pieces forming back into place fully yet again. Ooh, thank you. I can hear everyone clapping in my head. It's so
Happy.
Okay, I do one more. And this one is called When I Say I'm Rich Now. And this one is shout outs to my mama. Janelle, I love you bitch forever. Woo! My definition of growing up poor would be cold McDonald's fries. It would be a box of Kraft dinner that my mom made last 5 days. It would be perishable food. It would be a can of this, a can of that. It would be the food bank. It would be subsidized everything. It would be grandma and grandpa sleepovers all the time because we lived with them. Until we lived on our own, and that it would be mouse traps. It would be the smell of pine sol so strong you could taste it. It would be the smell of any kind of cleaner, really. And no matter how hard my mom cleaned, it never felt clean enough. It would be vinyl floors, or that thin layer of carpet over concrete so cold you could still feel it on the soles of your feet. It would be wooden stairs that were painted in that pale blue the way every other Calgary housing unit on the block was painted. It would be undeveloped basements. It would be concrete yards that we shared with the whole complex. It would be Salvation Army Christmases. It would be Christmas hamper Christmases. It would be going to church on Christmas once a year to share space with the families that reminded us of the family we always wanted to be. It would be coin laundry, because the one that the whole complex shared was broken. It would be used clothes. It would be wearing the same damn shoes and jeans so they had holes in them. It would be wearing the same damn shoes and jeans that were 2 sizes too big because my mom couldn't afford back to school clothes shopping every year. And she always thought she'd save some money because I grow into them. It would be me growing out of them every year. It would be Mike's Hard Lemonade. It would be De Maurier regulars. It would be drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade and smoking De Maurier regulars in that concrete yard that we shared with the whole complex on a Tuesday night. It would be staying awake till 11 p.m. on a school night and a Tuesday night because that concrete yard that we shared with the whole complex felt more like home than the inside of our own units. It would be school night sleepovers with that family that we created in those concrete yards. It would be sleepovers with stolen portable DVD players from my dad. It would be watching stolen DVDs on stolen portable DVD players from my dad. So when I say that I'm rich now, I'm saying that my definition of being poor made me realize that I am rich now. And my definition of rich would be your definition of poor because it's not in a materialistic sense. It's so much more. I am rich with love. I am rich with compassion. I am rich with blood family and more chosen family than I could have asked for. I am rich with friends. I am rich with people that will always have my back. I am rich with love. I am rich with people that listen to me. I am rich with conversation that knows no bounds. I am rich with openness and acceptance. I am rich with sharing. I am rich with kindness. I am rich with experiences, good and bad, that made me who I am. And everyone thinks that they are woke now, but I have always been awake and wide-eyed to the things I saw that made the things I went through become the things I overcame. Woo! Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shelf Life. Thank you, Wolf's Voices. Thank you, every one of your beautiful freaking souls. I miss all of your faces. And as soon as I'm allowed to hug you and grab your face, I'm going to do all that all the time.
Woo! Same with you, Josie. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, super, super awesome. I'm trying to get the hand of this. So Let's all give a howl out, a collective howl out for Josie. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's try this way first. And then next up, we have Mary of the Tower. Mary, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Great.
Yeah.
So Mary of the Tower is a settler-born Filipinx artist living on Treaty 7 territory, whose back is a bridge over the settler-indigenous binary, and bones are the intersection of their ancestors and the unborn. And if that's not poetry, I don't know what is. Her website is studiocanlungan.co. Her Instagram is Mary of the Tower, and her Twitter... Oh, come on. Her Twitter is hidden from me right now. There. What's your Twitter, Mary?
It says Empress at Best on the slide, but it's wrong because I changed it again.
Oh, so what is it?
So my new Twitter is Mary Disgrace, Merry Disgrace. Because my actual legal name is Mary Grace, and I realized at like 4 a.m. that would be a good name for like a very non-Christian good girl Mary like myself. So anyway, here we are.
Well, we can fix that on everyone's links for the audience will be on the event and on our Woolfs Voices Facebook page and Instagram, so we can fix that on the event for you if you want, and then people can refer to it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's hear you read.
Sure. Woo! Yeah, thanks for having me, Adrian. It's my first time here, so this is really exciting. I have one piece for you folks today, one long, dense piece, so I'll try to get through it in my allotted time. It is about an experience I had over this past summer, and I'd like to pose a content warning for pregnancy loss, as well as general roundabout racism, because, you know, there should be a content warning on everything for that now. So, here we are. It's called Dear Maybe Baby. This is not the kind of grief I'm used to. It is the grief that is cut short, stunted, because deep inside, deeper than you would have been inside me, I knew it wasn't time. I could love you into existence with every part of my being, and I wanted to be a single mother because life has taught me impermanence, and I never want to kid myself into believing anyone would stay. Not because there's anything wrong with me or you, but my love, we are not for everyone, and not everyone is for us either. People change their minds and their hearts, and especially after our bodies change, because we are shallow and primal, and that's how you were made. For 8 days, I came to accept you, and then I prepared for you as I lost sleep. I drifted in and out of pregnancy brain. I wondered about cravings and labor and who I would want standing next to me at your birth. I picked your name. And then a gush of blood so heavy told me that your daddy got lucky, and no, baby, you were not meant to be made by me and a stranger, and there is work to be done before I can give you the life you deserve. My love, people today in this time are divided into 2 camps. In one, primarily they wait. They are waiting for the chaos to subside and for things to go back to normal. If you were here, you would have been created at a time of peak stress and unrest beyond anything my generation has ever seen. You and the rest of these desperate, hopeful babies would be here to anchor us into a future worth imagining. Which brings me to the second camp, those who primarily say fuck it to the whole thing. They are deconstructing, sometimes slowly and sometimes with great speed, in an effort to tear it all down. These are the people who are daring to dream into the darkness and are loving into existence a world beyond the red tape and metal bars that keep so many of us chained. I am of this second camp. I am imagining a world beyond capitalism and a world where brown babies like you would never have to question their worth. I was and still am committed to raising you to love your melanin and to do so without condition. I was and still am committed to raising you to resist and to be questionable of those who are insincere, to trust the compass of your grand intuition and remember you are always guided by the love of me and your kin. It has taken me the better part of 29 years to learn that I'm a powerful woman, and you, maybe baby, would therefore be powerful too. Powerful beyond measure. Yet the truth is I cannot create you nor raise you completely on my own. It takes half a second of intimacy within a 3-day ovulation window that your daddy just barely missed. It takes divine timing, and I'm no longer a religious person, but a famous woman named Lady Gaga said God makes no mistakes, and I still believe that. I believe that everyone exists for a reason, and when people fail, it's because their communities leave them ill-prepared. As your mother, I would never lie to you and say I can fix the brokenness of this world, but I know I can do my part to love a better one into existence. I know I can teach you about community by showing up, cultivating kapwa, finding you an endless web of titos and titas, queer and trans relatives with no gender and all genders, so that loving yourself is something you never have to think about, because you're watching us all do it imperfectly with all the answers as a fresh pair of eyes. Capitalism has ruined self-love, stolen our best tools as Black and brown survivors, and repackaged them as promo codes for white people. You are not half white, and you will never be. I am ill-equipped to show you how to navigate the world in a Black body or an Indigenous body, but I am too prepared to let you live in a biracial one where you can opt out of this fight at your leisure. I am passing on my spirit to you, and with that spirit, you have a responsibility to keep fighting, even if the fight means that you radically rest, radically love, radically enjoy yourself. I will ensure that you know exactly how to wield the weapons in your toolbox and that you come to learn how powerful they are. I will teach you how to use your power wisely. I will teach you how to use it for good. I was convinced that the work I needed to do was be your mother, and in many ways I know I am more ready for this than most. But you are not here. I am not your mother. Not yet, not now. I am doing my best to trust the timing of this life and now yours. I, along with your titos and titas, angels, ancestors, and kin, will continue to love a better world into existence one day at a time, but that world will never be perfect, and we will never finish building it. For reasons I am not yet meant to know, it is not yet your time to be loved into my body, and not yet my time to love you into this perpetually broken and beautiful world. But know that you are welcome, and I am ready, and you are so, so loved. I am waiting for you, maybe baby. Take your time. I am here.
Woo! Woohoo! Everyone give a howl out for Mary of the Tower.
Oh!
Amazing. Ow! Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so next up we have Natalie Meisner. Natalie, are you ready?
Set.
Yeah. I'm going to pin you. Try and do this, and then I'll bring up. So thank you, Mary, again. That was absolutely wonderful. Very, very, very powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring you up here, Natalie. So Natalie Meisner is Calgary's 5th Poet Laureate. She's also a playwright, professor at MRU, and a proud member of a biracial two-mom family. Dr. Natalie Meisner, writer and professor of English, Mount Royal University, the Department of Languages and Cultures. And she has several books. The Batty One Shoe one, which I was talking about, which Shelf Life has. Speed Dating for Sperm Donors. Legislating Love, the Everett Clippert story. My Mommy, My Mama, My Brother, and Me. Double Pregnant, Two Lesbians Make a Family, and Growing Up Salty. I'm very happy to have Natalie here tonight at Woolfs Voices. We're also both in the YYC pop book side by side, which I have to say was a very surprising, unexpected honor. So welcome, Dr. Natalie Meisner.
Super lovely. Thank you all for your words so far. These kind of events are what we can, what kind of hold body and soul together right now. So I'm super happy to join you all and just loving hearing your words. And so great to see some folks that I know and some new friends too. I'm going to read a couple pieces for you from Batty One Shoe because I thought a couple pieces in here really do respond to the stated theme. Kind of exploring what femininity is can be the far reaches of it. So the first one I'm going to read for you from Batty One Shoe is called Restoration Play. In today's episode of All the World's a Stage, we are made to play spectator hostage to the mental Punch and Judy show as one tie-breaking guy tries to convince another tie-wearing guy that he's fit to serve justice. justice for the next generation. Never mind how he cemented his power, bonding in laughter over the prostrate and scorned and humiliated bodies of women who came to the party for the same thing that he did. Fun. Again, this little word. See how meaning shears off and away from it. Our Joni said it best. In this case, justice is just ice. Doing trains, pigging, dragon slaying. You could look those up, you could Google them, but please don't. And now Mr. Tiebreaker is hand on Bible. Oh, clean cut, oh, earnest, dumpling family in tow. You wonder about the families, like behind closed doors. They must know. Their eyes seem to show a glimmer of foreknowledge, a flimsy refraction of a fish's eye on the hook, tipping up, reflecting the light with the murk and funk of plausible deniability. So that was kind of a political shit kicker. Now I'm going to read you something a little softer. This one is called Lipstick. Well, we'll see if it's softer. We'll feel it out. I have a long and complex history with lipstick. I've written 5 or 6 different pieces about it, and I realize it's sort of a recurring theme. So there's a piece in here that I'll read for you called Lipstick. Open the lid and twist. Coax the long, slender tube of waxy animal fat from its sheath. A hidden tube, a retractable weapon, a mini missile silo to redden the lips, the face slit. Aping what exactly? Lipstick. Stick 'em up. Offered for sale by Sears as early as 1890. But caution is to be advised when applying any time after 1915. Even before, though, crushed gemstones, mashed beeswax, harsh, red, sexy, indeterminate. The shimmer comes from fish scales. Did you know that? We grind up those lower on the food chain to adorn our parts with shine. The first time I applied lipstick, lurid, brick red, white-knuckled, with a queer, crooked smile, a batty clown. Desperate, forgive me, I needed the job so badly that I bent and twisted the tube, smeared red, embarrassed that culture had finally broken me in enough to understand that I would have to twist and smear and redden to get anything I really wanted. Looking in the mirror with a red slit on my face, I understood for the first time that power is a whip, and you never know which end you have in your hand. Is it the butt or is it the lash? Thanks. That's it.
Very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, I don't know about softer, but powerful.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I don't know. Sometimes I do soft. I've got teddy bear poems kicking around this place somewhere. Thanks.
I don't know. Power or powerful is always welcome when we howl. Let's give a howl out for Natalie Meisner. Ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And normally we have a little intermission during Woolfs Voices, but we're not going to do that online because, you can go do you wherever you want to do you, wherever you want when you're on YouTube. So we are going to have some music now, though, so that's also a good time to go grab a beverage or something if you want. Prema is going to play, so I'm very excited to have Premanition play. And Premanition is a singer, producer, songwriter, and performer who loves telling stories through her work. She also just published her first short story, The Shipmaker, on Amazon Kindle. You can check it out at FPREZWAN, which is her writer Instagram, or at Prema Premanition Music, I believe, on Instagram as well. And she has a YouTube link and her website, premanition.com. So without further ado, welcome, Prema.
Hello. First, I guess I just want to say quickly, wow. First of all, everyone so far has been so amazing, and I just never get to attend a lot of poetry shows, even before I kind of got into it, and it just fascinated me. And you guys have all just like blown me away. Everybody, yet again, is just so powerful, so emotional and evocative. Like, I just am so impressed. So I'm just really feeling really lucky to be performing alongside you guys. Thank you so much for having me. And I have 3 songs for you guys. The first one is an original that I have not released yet, and it's called Until My Last Breath. And I'll actually be releasing a couple of these new songs before the end of the year, so follow me if you want to stay up to date on that kind of stuff. This is Until My Last Breath. Eyes of solid earth and sky, wrap my hands in your pretty lies, hold me upside down while I walk the plank. Give me a soft place to land, so much passion but I got no plans. Never felt pretty with the lights on until you told me so, but I still remember the way you broke my heart. It was every fall before the last leaf fell. But can I love you even after dark? You turn to a monster and pull out my heart. Oh, can I love you when the winter ends and the ice has melted until my last breath? Tender hands never fail to collect every thorn. We planted roses in a graveyard. Hide me beneath your fancy clothes, but let me feel the open air. I'm just too scared to show myself, but I still remember the way you let me down. It was every night before the sun came up. But can I love you even after dark? You turn to a monster and pull out my heart. Oh, can I love you when the winter ends and the ice has melted? But I'm not innocent. I have failed to reach for your hand without giving in to myself. Oh, can I love you when it gets dark? You turn to a monster. Oh, can I love you even after dark? Oh, can I love you even after dark? You turn to a monster and pull out my heart. Oh, can I love you when the winter ends and the ice is melting until my last breath? Oh, until my last breath. Oh, my last breath. Thank you. I'm assuming, like Josie was saying, I hear a lot of applause in my head. So, somebody give me a standing ovation. Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I sometimes don't mute myself fast enough. But yeah.
I appreciate that. So for my next song, I decided to do a cover, and if there's some of my friends are watching, and if you are, you probably heard this before because I really like singing this song, so you're gonna hear it again. It's Havana by Kuya Cabello. Just a fun one. Havana, ooh, nana. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, nana. He took me back to East Atlanta, na na na. All of my heart is in Havana. There's something about his manners, Havana. He didn't walk up with a how you doing. He said there's a lot of girls I can't do it. I knew him forever in a minute. Papa said he got Milo in him. He got me feel like ooh. I knew it when I met him. I loved him when I left him. Got me feel like ooh. And then I had to tell him I have to go. Oh na na na, Havana, oh na na. Half of my heart is in Havana, oh na na. He took me back to East Atlanta, no, na, na. All of my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana, Havana. Ooh, 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 ooh. Take me back, take me back, take me back. Oh, Havana, ooh, na, na. Half of my heart is in Havana, ooh, na, na. He took me back to East Atlanta, na, na, na. All of my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana. Oh. Thank you.
Woo! Amazing, ethereal, super amazing. Thank you so much, Prema. Huh?
You're right. So it's like, okay. That was my only fear. I'm just gonna grab a quick drink of water. So, my final song for everybody. It's a new song from a kind of mini concept album that I will be releasing before the end of the year. So keep a watch for that. I'm really excited. It's actually a very short story that I will be narrating with a couple of songs in between. I was kind of decided to do it because why not? So yeah, this is a song from that. It's unreleased right now, so you get to be the first ones to hear it. So I hope you guys like it. The song is called Graveyard. And once again, thank you guys so much for having me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. I know I am going to. This is Graveyard. She was born in a graveyard and I've been running ever since. She loved the company but didn't quite fit in. She looks at old photographs, sees her parents' eyes, looks at her reflection. Is it just a disguise? Can't recognize myself these days. Ooh, ooh, can't recognize myself these days. So I'm running away. Oh, I'm running away. Oh, I'm running away. Oh, I'm running away from the graveyard. She's running from the graveyard. She's running. There's a girl who lives in the woods, raised by animals, raised by wolves. Her hands are heavy, her feet are big, still couldn't feel the shoes she left with. Looked in the mirror and saw someone else's eyes. Looked at her reflection, lost herself in the design. Can't recognize myself these days. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can't recognize myself these days. So I'm running away. Oh, I'm running away. Oh, I'm running away. Oh, running away from the woods. She's running from the woods. She's running. Sometimes she's sleeping, sometimes she wakes, and it sounds like thunder and the windows shake. Thank you so much, everybody.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Everyone
good.
howl out for Premanition! Woo! That was amazing. I always love hearing you play. I'm really, really happy that you finally had a chance to be on Wolf's Voices. A lot of the artists tonight performing have been waiting since May, when we decided to have a much needed rest. So I hope everyone enjoyed their COVID rest, but I'm really excited and thrilled to have you all on tonight. So thanks again. Next up, we have Tereasa Maillie. Are you there, Tereasa?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Perfect.
Just a little delay there. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no, that's okay. There you are. So Tereasa Maillie, she, her, is a multi-genre playwright and historian who hopes her work amplifies equity, diversity, and inclusion, which totally fits in with the Wolf's Voices agenda. So Tereasa Maillie is a writer and researcher, and you can see her work at tereasamarie.com. So I highly encourage you to check that out. And without further ado, let's all howl for Tereasa. Oh!
Hello, can you see me? I'm a little paler than normal.
We can see you.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'm hoping that everybody will enjoy this piece. I haven't written in a very long time. And so coming back to it has been a bit of a journey. So I'm really happy to be kind of, doing this as a warm-up piece project. So I just want to let everybody know this week is actually Métis Week. So we celebrate this whole week our culture and our heritage, and we love to share it with everybody. I'm Métis on my mother's side. And I thought this piece that I have been working on would be probably pretty perfect for tonight. It's about somebody who's not really well known. It's Louis Riel's wife. We never really talk about her, but I was reading a little bit more about the poet Marilyn Dumas. She wrote The Pemmican Eaters, and she was kind of wrestling with the 1885 resistance and how that, kind of reimagining of history. So I decided, sure, why don't I give it a stab as well? So I hope you enjoy it. I hope I enjoy it. I'm not too sure, but I'm really glad that I can kind of try it out tonight. So thanks.
Woohoo!
It's called, sorry?
Woohoo!
Woo! So it's called Run. She only has one photo of her anywhere. It's the face of Pearl, the eyes of a bright daisy, and it means Marguerite. Still a rare thing, no time to sit for others. This poem, this writing, she must run. She must run to serve her husband and his grand cause. Run to her children who need her love. Run to feed, to clean hides, to satisfy all around her. Her romance for her is in her hands of work. There's no books on her. Who is saying her name? Marguerite. Who writes about her? Oh, it's men. It's men that write about her. Short notes, short biographies, footnotes. They need her, as Louis did, to prop up his own story. Their nationhood, their story, does not include her. They call her out, though, calling for her as she runs farther and farther away from them. They like to call her all sorts of things. Half-breed woman, wife to a legend, our savior, mother of 2 living, 1 dead, daughter to a Cree woman, daughter to a Quebec man, martyr wholly to his cause, Cree squaw, ooh, who is not so pretty, ooh, nasty. What does he see in her? But I see her, Marguerite, running, Neat bun, gone and flayed, her hair around her shoulders, arms flung open to the open-hilled skies of our ancestors, shawl thrown off to rest in those berry bushes. Her husband wrote that she was soft-spoken, dark-skinned, tall, quite good-looking, but his attraction to her laid in her strength of her character. Hang on a minute. Who knew about her character? Can you or I or anybody else or the men that like to write about her know anything about her character? Just from the scraps of paper that they offer? A marriage? A death list? Someone who writes her and decides to write with her would have something else to say, I think. Someone who writes about her says she worshipped her husband. Of course she did, because all women must if they stay to cook and clean and care for a home, being poor from his presence. There's more she must have been. She must have been devoted to her own cause of this heart, the Métis people who know themselves. Friends, family, people, home, her own vision of a time that she could stop running from them and run to the open, spiked prairie stages and the river-made homes. But Marguerite ran to him when her father was hunting buffalo with him. She went in with him for her marriage, her children, for Batoche, from Montana. She was with him and running by his side during the Battle of the Rebellion, their resistance, until Louis surrendered. Odd, she didn't. She ran. Cold and hungry, frozen bellies, Marguerite and her children hid in caves near Batoche while waiting for Louis, because she knew what white men with red jackets and brown hats riding horses do to her type of woman. But her husband never came. His brother Joseph appeared, took Marguerite and the children to her mother-in-law. There's no chance to run. She could not run. She was imprisoned by this sick body with grief covering her in an HBC blanket with orders of his execution stitched into them. She died a year later, buried with him. So I stand now by her grave. Marguerite, her name is actually written into the stone, small and tiny, minimized Marguerite. I wish someone could write above her small, tiny, carved-in name right now over his massive story and say that women can run for themselves. Okay, thank you very much.
Woo! Kind of like Clarissa Pinkola Estes, women who run with the Woolfs, which, I mean, Woolf's Voices was more inspired by Virginia Woolf, but the wolf howling thing has definitely been super fun. So
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to do that.
Cool. Let's all give a howl out for Tereasa. Ooh! Beautiful, beautiful. And I realized I owe both Tereasa and Sushane an apology because apparently I got my alphabet mixed up when I was making my PowerPoint, and I mixed up S and T. So you guys should have been opposite order. I apologize, but so it might have not been what you were expecting. But now we have Sushane. If I say Tsomondo, am I saying your name correctly?
It's Tsomondo.
Tsomondo, yeah. Also known as Sue Stockfowl, who was on the cover of the Calgary Journal this week, which is very exciting. An excellent article. And, oh, man. Okay, here we go. So Sushane Tsomondo is a Zimbabwean poet, art curator, and the creator of Sue's Stockfowl. Her work deals with issues of diasporian guilt, blackness, womanhood, and intergenerational trauma. You can follow her on Instagram at Bantu Chipo or at Sue Stockfowl, and you can visit her website at suestockfowl.com. So without further ado, please welcome Sushane Tsomondo.
Woo!
Woohoo! Woo!
Hey!
Hi everyone, my name is Yujin Aspen Kim, and I will just preface my poem with a few words. So in Shana, which is my culture, we have a saying that says "Kukira gomo poterera," which means to climb the mountain is to go around in circles until you reach the peak. And so I am following that tradition of storytelling today as I read this poem, and also just sharing the prompt that led to this particular poem, which is a quote by Zadie Smith, where she says, "Women often have a great need to portray themselves as sympathetic and pleasing, but we are also dark people with dark thoughts." So that is how I'm honoring femininity today, honoring that we have the freedom and we are dark people with dark thoughts as well. So this poem is untitled. So I will get started. So I will just be performing one poem, but it's a long poem. There are 3 things I've always known, well, at least since I was 8, that there are secrets better kept and buried even if you spend your life paying for them because there is no real justice. That you should be wary of being chosen because things happen to little girls who go into blue closets and closed spaces. You played hide and seek once. To this day, you're still looking for the girl who walked into that blue closet, but she died there. If I could have warned you, I would have said, be wary of being seen, smile a little less, dare your skin to be a little less bright because you look too much like a wife. Move in silence and with so much regret, even before you've done anything wrong. Run a little faster. Wear the shame on your face. Be a scarecrow. If you can't be that, be a rose. Grow thorns on your stem. If they pluck you by the stem, it is they who bleed. If they pluck you by the petals, you will fall apart and won't be something to be desired anymore. But if they're wise, they will cut you at the umbilical cord. Death will be slow but inevitable. But these years are clouded in sandstorms and a blinding sun. I cannot reach you to save you. Sometimes I stand on the edge of insanity. I have come to this place many times since I was 8. I have not learned to be soft as much as I've learned to self-destruct. I dive deep into the crevices of my mind where no light can reach. You can't take me from myself anymore. If I am ground and fine like sand, you cannot contain me. But it's this girl in the blue closet who still haunts me. She haunts me out of love and into the darkness. I have spent my days pretending the monkey on my back does not exist. When girls like me end up with their heads in ovens, people will say that the world was too much with us. I am drowning in these motions. I am the reason why women aren't fit to lead. I am coming undone until the threads of my being are a noose around his neck, and I'm kind of pleased. I happened upon love. And still I slip in and out of this dream because there's some unfinished work in this past life of mine. But I'm too afraid to go back there alone. Tell me something, my love. If I was never broken, what do you think I would look like? Would I still have sad eyes? Do you think I could finally laugh with reckless abandon? A friend once told me that love can be redeeming, and still I tell her I did nothing wrong. I simply existed with unknowing eyes, but now I have these eyes, the color of sadness that I can't change. Still, I wish you could have seen me before, my love. And I wish I could see you for the first time again with untainted eyes. I know I'm silly to ask these impossible questions because no one ever came looking for me. I come from this place known for sunshine, and yet I have not seen the sun in 17 years. But when I finally dare to come out of this blue closet, if you see me tomorrow, my love, please pretend for a moment that I'm soft to the touch. And for you, I hope my eyes look like you are the first thing I have ever seen. I used to be so afraid of the dark, but the darkness kept my secrets. I have stayed long enough in the dark, long enough that I hope that anything that I see, I will be seeing for the first time again. Mama, look into my eyes and tell me if I look much the same as I did 25 years ago. Or maybe Gogo can tell me. Have I finally been reborn? My love, maybe you can look at me and tell me if you notice something different about me today. Do I finally have the eyes the color of joy? Thank you.
Woo!
Whoa!
Very powerful.
Woo!
A little dark, but we all need that, right? That was, yeah. Thank you for sharing Sue Shane. That was very, very beautiful. I just want to promote your book club, if that's okay, which is featuring the book Bitter Fruit. It's on November 29th at 2 p.m. Edmonton time. The Zoom meeting is on your Instagram or your website or your Facebook, I believe, too. Yeah. So you all can join in that. I highly encourage everybody to check out everyone else's links on Facebook. Everybody from tonight was really amazing. So I'm going to unpin you here, Sue, but thank you for joining us. And let's all give a howl out together for Sue Shane. Oh! And I don't know if there's a way to bring everyone up here. Maybe I can, if everyone can turn their video on really quickly. And we can all howl together, maybe? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! There we go. I apologize. Any glitches with Zoom are mine. I am learning this as we go. So thank you to our audience members for joining us this evening. Events like this don't happen without an audience, so I'm very excited. I was watching all the viewers on YouTube. We are very grateful. You can bookmark the next Wolf Voices will be in February 2021. We will post a save the date post soon. You can check out our website for details, wolfsvoices.wordpress.com, or Wolf's Voices with an apostrophe on Facebook, and at Wolf's Voices without an apostrophe on Instagram, which is those links here. Those are also live links. If you want to rewatch the video, the links should be live on the video. Special thanks again to Shelf Life Books. We have been broadcasting here from Shelf Life. So let's everyone give a howl out for Shelf Life Books. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! Yes, Shelf Life just celebrated their 10-year anniversary, which is amazing. And anyone who's ever owned a small business knows what a journey that is. So 10 years is absolutely amazing. Support your local bookstores, all of them, and support Shelf Life. To make a donation to support Wolf's Voices this evening or at any time, and then I had a few people texting me a donation, so we have had some donations at least. I haven't had a chance to check what it is, but thank you to everyone who has supported tonight. We will be in touch with the artists and we will share. You can click on that PayPal link there to add your donation, and we are very grateful. And yeah, that would support everyone here who has performed tonight as well. So thanks again for joining Wolf's Voices, and we hope that you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah. And maybe I'll just do this again. Join us again in February for Wolf's Voices number 29. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, Tola, for doing all the live Instagram stuff.
It was so amazing.
that was amazing, and have a good night. Yeah.
Thanks,
everyone.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you,
Have a good night.
and thank you.
Yeah, and I